What's up, lifelong learners? It's your boy, Mr. Hang, and today I'm going to show you how to adjust the shutter, the aperture, and the ISO of this camera right here. This is the Panasonic S5iiX. So let's flip it on. Here's the on button right there. Flip it on like that. It's going to take a little bit of time here to flip this, turn this screen on, okay? And then we have here, this thing is called a waveform. So to get that to go away, just push this on the right there until it goes away. Don't touch this yet because this is a little bit more complicated. All right. So to adjust the shutter angle, which is right here, all you have to do is spin this dial right there. Okay. So if I spin it, look how the shutter is adjusting. Okay. A smaller shutter angle number is a faster shutter speed per se, and then the image gets darker. The bigger the shutter angle is a slower shutter speed, which gets my image to be brighter, as you can see right there. So where you want to be at is lock it at 180 degrees for the 180 degree rule. And then you adjust your aperture accordingly. So the aperture is by your thumb right here. It is this wheel right here, okay? So if you open up your aperture, let me zoom in here, zoom out here, okay? If you open up your aperture, the f5.6 or 4.5 right there, see how it gets brighter? It gets brighter, all right? And if you want to change your aperture to the right, you're gonna get a smaller aperture with that smaller f number, and then you will make the image darker because the hole is smaller, okay? And then I'm gonna go back to a 4.5 aperture right there. My shutter angle stays at 180 for filmmaking. And then for my ISO, push that button right there. And then you can use the shutter or the aperture wheel to adjust aperture, ISO, or you can just touch screen it like that, all right? So you have options. The smaller the aperture number, the smaller the ISO number, the better quality the image, and the higher the ISO number, the brighter the image, but you give up, you sacrifice some image quality there. So you find the one that works for you. For this camera, it is best to go between 640 all the way up to 4,000, okay? All right, so I'm not gonna get into the technical specs here of what's best and all that with, base ISO, but if you really need it and you gotta crank up your ISO if you need to. So that is how you adjust the shutter, the aperture, and the ISO by pushing that button right there. Now, the last thing you want to adjust is to make white true white and black true black. So white, WB stands for white balance. You're going to click on that. Let me just make this image a little bit less bright here so that you can see. I'll go to 640. All right. So what you're going to do now is you are going to push white balance. So this WB button right here. And then you have AWB, which stands for auto white balance. So the camera's going to do the thinking for you, but you don't want to do that. What you want to do is adjust this to, if you're in a room with orange lighting, you're going to adjust this to 3200K. If you're in a room with fluorescent lighting, you're going to adjust this to 4100K. And if you're outdoors, you're going to adjust this to 5600K for daylight balance shooting. All right. So if you notice the light, if it's slightly orange, then you need to use this, the 3200K. If it's in between orange and daylight, then you use this one, 4100K. And if you're outside, you use 5600K, or if you're going for like, oh, I want to make it look like sunsetty, go to 6300K just to give it a little bit more warmth. All right. As you can see there, as I change, as I go to the left here, you can see how things get bluer. All right. Okay, so that is how you adjust, again, shutter, aperture, and ISO for your exposure, and then WB is for white balance. All right? Okay. Oh, and by the way, this is where you, just a pro tip here, mic, make sure you plug in the mic up here where it says mic, and then plug in your headphones right here so you can hear what's going on. All right? Okay. All right.